have them
There you go.
check out the recording on our YouTube channel. So today you saw our title is Are You Balanced? And what we mean is truly like, are you balanced with your body?
Hmm.
I was telling Lori, I kind of wanted to talk about this because I feel like there's been an uptick in people wanting information or help with balance. I have three girls now, or three ladies now that I'm personal training, and all they want to do is balance. So I'm doing like half-hour sessions of teaching them balance moves. Um, um, One of them has fallen, and I'm going to give you some statistics. And the chances, once you have fallen once, your
Hmm.
chances of falling again are higher. Um, so, Lori, can I go ahead and give them statistics and
Oh,
then
absolutely.
have
I
you
was
pop
just
in?
curious as to when, because like for instance, last time we met, we were talking about my father and with LBD.
Right.
And as we went to each, appointment, they were always asking, what's your fall risk? And I'm just curious as to when they start asking that question, at what age range do they start asking, how often have you fallen in the last year? That's a typical question that gets
Yeah.
asked. But I'm just curious because I did not look up that information, but to see when you go to see your physician, when they start asking that, or is it something specific based on have you fallen in the past?
Yeah. I
I'm
don't
just
know
curious.
that for sure. I
Yeah.
just know that one of the statistics tells us that adults 65 and over.
Probably. Yeah.
But I will tell you, I just went for my follow-up on my knee replacements
Hmm.
yesterday, and always in the orthopedic office, they have a big thing about falls and
Hmm.
what are your risks and
Hmm.
how can you prevent falls. And, you know, everybody goes to the orthopedic, not just older people. So,
Right.
you know, I don't know
Absolutely.
they're reaching
Absolutely.
everyone, but that's in
Right.
every exam room. So,
Right.
um, but some of the statistics are adults 65 and older, more than one in four, roughly 27.5 to 28% report falling at least once a year. And I thought that was high.
That
I don't
feels like
know.
high to me. One in four people.
Right. That's a lot of people. 65 and older. Now, you know, of course, but we're going to get into more of this. So with it's not just about age.
Hmm.
Um, and then it says more than 14 million older adults fall annually. The reoccurrence doubles the probability of that person falling again when they
Right.
fall once. And then high risk groups are those over 80, and the annual incidence of falls can reach 50% there, which I do understand that. I mean,
Mhm.
it's, yeah. And in nursing homes and long term care facilities, there's a bigger percentage, 30 to 50%. Um, Let me see. Oh, fatalities.
Mm.
So this is from 2021. Over 38,700 older adults died due to unintentional falls.
Wow.
That was like huge. And I kind of want to bring those to light because I think we don't think about it. And Lori's going to talk a little bit more about thinking in a second. And then it has injuries. Falls cause 3 million emergency room visits and nearly 1 million hospitalizations annually. And then it goes into hip fractures. So those are some of the statistics. And then we're going to talk about some of the reasons why. And so Lori will start with one of her reasons that she
Yeah, I
was,
mean, I can think back to the last time I actually fell and hurt myself. I mean, I've fallen, but luckily those times didn't.
and you are not 60s.
And I am not. I am 56, knocking on the door of the next year that I won't say, but so it was uh December of 2023, I believe. It may even be 2022 now, and I was teaching. I was teaching my class, and we were using a step.
Been
I had,
there.
I think we weren't doing step class. Now
Yeah.
we were doing a cardio move, and it was the taps, and I was
Hmm.
jumping because I in my brain think I'm still 25. Okay.
Yeah.
And so I for a split second took my eye off of what I was doing and down I went and broke my wrist.
Oh my.
Yes, broke my this wrist.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so it was like, and it was like, I sat there, I'm like, you assess yourself. I'm like, am I okay? And then I noticed, nope, I wasn't okay.
Yeah.
And so it happened that quickly. So yes, one thing that we do is we move through space without thinking,
Hmm.
especially as we get older, because I think, I mean, I'll speak for myself. As I said, I still think inside of my mind, I'm a lot younger than I am,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I'm a fit person, but that doesn't necessarily matter. You can get distracted, but I think that I can just move effortlessly like I used to,
Sure.
right? And so one of the things that I do teach and talk about a lot in my training class is that you have to get yourself body aware. How am I moving through space? It's no longer just get up and go. It's
Right.
a get up, I have to make sure that I'm steady, and then I walk forward. Or the other thing is with my dad is they were teaching him how to sit down
Mm.
because we tend to, you
Right.
know, you can lose some strength in your legs and you tend to flop down in a chair. And that's how you can fall on the floor and potentially break something too. And so it's truly about being mindful. It's not about really thinking, okay, now I have to move my right foot, move my left foot. It's not
Right.
that. It's truly being mindful of your body in space and just taking that moment of pause before you do set off to make sure that you are feeling balanced
Yeah.
and not, woozy, lightheaded, whatever it might be.
Right.
And it can prevent you from something catastrophic happening,
Right.
obviously. And then if you are someone that is active and, potentially, lifting weights or things like that, if you do happen to fall and you have some mobility to you, I would imagine the chances, I don't know the statistics, but the chances of if you do fall, you're going to be able to prevent yourself from actually injuring too. So
Exactly.
that's a great plug again for making sure that you're staying active and exercising on a regular basis.
Yep. And then along with that, like
Mhm.
I am, a fitness instructor. I
Mhm.
mean, I have fallen. You get tangled up in your feet. You're teaching a class. You're not paying attention to what you're doing. But I can tell you now, and Lori and I talked about this a little bit earlier too. I have, you know, knee replacements. Both of my knees replaced. My hip is replaced. And and my shoulders, both shoulders. And I am so aware of that now,
Mhm.
of where I'm stepping, how I'm stepping, paying attention where I wasn't before because I don't want to fall and mess up any of these new parts I have because I spent too much money on them. So, and I don't want to have to go through it again.
Right.
So yeah, that I'm very mindful of that. And hopefully all of you out there, remember if you've had replacements, I mean, it's your body's different. Like they're not your knees anymore.
Mhm.
It's an appliance that's in there and you have to learn how to navigate it. Another thing I was thinking of, medications can make you go off. Everybody takes medications. I mean, not just older people.
Mhm.
If you have a head cold, your balance is off. I just got through feeling like my head was a balloon
Mhm.
and, felt like my balance was off. Vertigo.
Mhm.
Um,
I'm glad that you mentioned that because for a while there was an uptick of people that I was seeing come in, and one of the things that they were struggling with was vertigo, and I was like, there's got to be something. There's got to be
yeah.
something that's happening that there's all these people that are going through these bouts of vertigo, whether it's true vertigo or if it's something else, inner ear
Hmm.
infection or whatever. But it just seemed like all of these, all at one time in this with the span of like 3 months, I had all these clients that were having bouts of vertigo.
When was that?
Oh, but I think it was early last year.
So it wasn't fall because sometimes like I know the barometric pressure,
Yeah,
I
like the
have a
time.
lot of
Yeah,
people that do that and I
yeah.
do that too.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was just interesting to me because I'm like, why is everybody all of a sudden getting vertigo? And there was no real explanation, obviously. And everybody's so different that you
Yeah.
can't really tell, but certainly, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. The other thing was it can and I'm going to have Lori go into this a little bit more too, but if you feel unbalanced, and it's something new, check it out, get checked
Mhm.
out
Yeah.
because it
Hmm.
could be cardiovascular, it could be your nervous system, it
Hmm.
could be like Lori said, her father went through that. And if you all didn't listen last week, please make sure you go back to YouTube channel and listen um, to Lori's story about her dad. But yeah, go ahead and tell them a little bit about like he started to lose his.
Right. He started to lose some strength in his legs because he wasn't as active. I mean, truly, the disease started to progress, and we could just watch him sit more and more and more. I mean, there's a lot of you out there that your job,
Yeah,
you sit most of the day.
right.
And so the longer you sit, the less conditioned you are. I mean, your body, they even talked about it, I think once, the fat cells in your bottom side will change shape
Oh
based
yeah.
on how long you sit in a chair. So,
I
ladies,
just saw that somewhere.
if you don't want the shelf butt,
Yes, I just saw that
you
somewhere and
know,
it was a
yeah,
comedy, but it was like it
yeah,
was true.
the fat cells actually change shape if you sit for a long period of time. So, how can you combat that? You have to do some movement.
Yeah.
And it's as simple as, you know, put a timer on your phone every 45 minutes, get up, walk around for 5 minutes, or do some you can stand at your desk and do some squats, air squats. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. You don't have to run to the gym in your lunchtime unless that's, something you want to do. But certainly keeping your body moving and keeping the leg strength is huge because his gait started to change. He
Mhm.
started to shuffle. And my dad was active all of
Yeah.
his life. He would go to the YMCA every day and ride on the bike for 12 miles in his 80s. Like
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
was active. It
Yeah.
wasn't, so we saw this change in him. Obviously, he was sleepier. He would get up off the chair and he wouldn't walk straight. He would kind of stumble off to the side. So, and then sometimes as you age, you start to hunch over, right? So it's about our posture. And Kim had mentioned this, and I'm sorry, Kim, Robin
It's
mentioned
okay.
a lot of us are doing this, right?
Yeah.
Or we're on our computer and we're not thinking at all about our posture. And it's you really have to again be very mindful of that because you're going to continue to hunch over if you're not going to be mindful.
And it will make you
That
trip over your
it
feet.
will. It
Yeah.
will. And then
Yeah.
the other thing that happened with my dad is he wasn't lifting his head anymore.
Mhm.
Like he started to, I shouldn't say anymore, but he started to look more at the ground because he didn't want
Sure.
to trip, right?
Yep. Yep.
So that's, there are those things. And the other part of that for him, just as a side note, I'm not sure exactly when, I think it was 2019. He had an episode, like they called it a stroke, but it wasn't super, it wasn't a real damaging episode that he had. But it was enough that he lost feeling in one of his legs from his knee
Mhm.
down. He rehabbed back. We walked a 5K in 6 months. So that's just proves to you that you can do those
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
But what happened is he lost some feeling in that foot. And later on that year, he got frostbite on
Oh,
that foot. He was on
geez.
a ladder and, the air was cold and he had frostbite. So then he developed neuropathy.
Oh, yeah.
So these are all these things that contribute
Hmm.
to you not being able to balance and move and the way that you used to be able to do that. So it takes that concerted effort, that mindfulness to make sure that when you start to move, that you're doing it with, and for lack of a better term, a clear mind,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And and just totally being aware of yourself in space. And that's challenging. A lot of people think that they're uncoordinated. I don't ever use that word. I just think they're not body aware.
Right.
You're just not aware of where your body is in space.
Yeah.
And that takes some time, to develop that. But there's simple exercises, Robin, I'm sure you do with the ladies in
Yep.
that that we can share that they can
Yep.
start doing now. I mean, just to
You
make
can
sure
do
that
it
you're
home. And that's what I
yeah.
tell my people.
Mhm.
If you have a line on your floor, you walk toe to heel down that line. Try to look about 3 foot in front of you on the floor
Mhm.
and stay on that line. And you can do that several times a day for your balance. Keeping your core engaged, working on your core, doing the stronger your core, the
Yeah.
better your balance is going to be. So get down there and do those planks, people.
Yeah.
Or you can do them like on a table. You can lean on the table and do a modified plank. If you
Mhm.
like Tai Chi, I know a lot of older people do Tai Chi. Tai Chi is a great thing to do. You can go to YouTube and you can find free Tai Chi, classes on there and do. Um, Standing on one leg. I
Yeah.
mean,
Alternating, doing that.
how, and standing on one leg, try to close your eyes.
Hmm.
Stand behind a chair, lift
Hmm.
one leg to the side, balance with the fingertip, eventually release your fingertip. Um, oh my gosh, if you have a Bosu ball at home, guys, Bosu balls are amazing. That's that half ball
Hmm.
that sits flat, and you can even sit on it. You don't have to stand on it and to get your balance. I don't know, Lori, can you think of any other things?
You had said about standing on one leg and things like that, but if you already know that you're not balanced, make sure that you're doing it in a safe place.
Yeah,
Obviously, hold on to
yeah,
a chair, hold on to the countertop, hold on to your significant other, whatever,
yeah,
and start doing these exercises on a regular basis, and then work yourself away from having that support. Then you can actually start feeling yourself become stronger in that area. And you mentioned core. That core strength is now core is your abdomen. It's the abs. It's all of them. Because I remember the teaching a class. I'm like, engage your core, and they're like, what? Can you tell me what that is? So what I say is take your belly button and pretend that
yep,
there's a string behind it and somebody's pulling it back to your spine.
yep.
And so making sure that you're engaging those muscles. I mean, I could be less eloquent about it, but
That's that's it, my exact
right.
words that I
Yeah.
use in
Or
my
you're trying to
classes.
hold in some gas.
Yeah,
You're
yeah,
in church
yeah,
and you don't want, you're
yeah,
trying to, those types of movements and holding on, those any kind of exercise for your core that is anti-rotation. So bird dogs, obviously you can go on YouTube and you can look up all these exercises, but
yeah,
anything you can do to strengthen your core. And planks really are great. But you can do all, and you mentioned modified planks. Start
yeah.
somewhere. It doesn't have to be a long period of time to start.
Right.
We always do a plank challenge at some point during the year. Usually it's in November for Planksgiving.
Hmm.
And one of the guys in my training, he's in his 70s and he's beat us all. He's like, I think his record is like
That's awesome.
seven and
Holy
a half
smokes.
minutes.
That's
I,
great.
I get too bored by 5 minutes and I want to do something
Yeah.
else.
Oh my gosh, that's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. And consistency, guys. So you
Yeah.
can practice balance every day.
Mhm.
Don't start it and then stop it because you're going to lose it. Okay. It will be if you don't use it, you lose it.
Mhm.
So you can practice those kind of things every day or seek out someone. I know that at the rec center here, we have balance specific classes. There are two of them, and they are packed.
Mhm.
There's a waiting list for these classes. Um, and then, like I said, I've been training. I have three clients right now, and that's all they want is for me to to take them through balance exercises. And I do the stability ball. You can sit on that. That's the big round ball.
Mhm. Oh yeah,
And I
that's
do the Bosu ball. I do tons of different, stand on one leg, walking the tightrope, all kinds of exercises. So go to YouTube if you don't want to go to a rec center or hire a personal trainer, and you can pick up lots of things on there.
I also want to make a point about footwear.
Oh
That's
yeah.
a huge thing.
Yeah.
One of the
Oh,
things that I've noticed in my parents, especially,
yeah.
is the footwear that they have on. So making sure that if you're doing something, that you have proper footwear on, because that will trip you up quicker than anything.
Can I just tell you,
Yeah.
guys, clogs are not the proper footwear.
Mhm.
And do you know how many clogs I see?
Mm,
Yeah.
I know. And I even read an article recently about certain types of sneakers or tennis shoes, depending on what you call them,
Uh-huh.
that the types that where the toe goes up aren't necessarily the best
Mm,
for you. And some of the more popular brands, I've seen Brooks that have now done that. Not so much, but Hoka's kind of can do that too, where the toe it looks like it's really lifted off the floor. And
hmm.
if you're not mindful about lifting your foot off the floor when you walk and you're dragging, your toe will catch, and unfortunately, you will stumble. So making
Yeah.
sure that you have proper footwear on. I mean, flip-flops aren't either the best footwear either.
Oh
So
gosh, yeah, no, but I love my flip-flops,
me
but
too.
yeah, they're not, but I'm telling you. So here's what I would like for people. If you have had an incident and you'd like to share it to maybe help someone else,
Absolutely.
realize, I fell doing this, or this happened to me because, or I found out I did have a cardiovascular episode with being, dizzy or lightheaded. Put it in the comments. We want to know. And if you'd like more
Dehydration.
tips or, what is it? I'm sorry.
Dehydration. You could be
Oh,
dehydrated
yeah,
and just get off.
exactly, for sure.
Yeah.
So let us know in the bottom, and we would love to hear from you about how you made your balance better. Or if you need
That'd be
us to
great.
help you out, contact us and we could send you to a resource and help you out there. So.
Absolutely.
Again, Lori, thanks for pitch hitting again.
Absolutely.
And
Thanks for asking. I
she'll
appreciate
be
it.
back. She'll be back. We'll
Yes.
have her. Oh, we've already got, I think, one plan that you're coming
Yes, we
back.
do.
So,
Yes, we do.
but Kim will be back next week, and we
Mhm.
appreciate you all tuning in. And we'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Have a good
Lori.
day. Bye.
Bye.